In the dead of night at Arlington, a tomb guard paces his 21 steps, boots echoing like a heartbeat against sacred stone. Sergeant Ethan Caldwell, rigid in his Navy uniform, looks like a statue to the tourists, snapping photos. But tonight, a challenge looms, one little test more than his discipline. A professor, armed with a PhD and a grudge, calls the tomb guard a pointless relic, mocking Ethan's duty in front of his own son. The classroom's about to become a battlefield, and Ethan's about to prove that honor isn't just in the steps he takes, it's in the fight he's ready to win. Before we dive into this story, where are you watching from? Let us know in the comments. And if you believe that values like honor, courage, and sacrifice still matter, join us in keeping their legacy alive. The sun hadn't yet broken the horizon when Sergeant Ethan Caldwell stepped onto the polished marble of Arlington National Cemetery. His Navy Tombload uniform was pressed to perfection. His kepi hat sat at a precise angle, and his sunglasses shielded eyes that had seen both war and peace. Each step echoed in the pre-dawn silence, a rhythmic tap against the sacred ground where thousands of white headstones stood like silent sentinels. Ethan's gloved hands swung in measured arcs, his posture rigid yet fluid, embodying the discipline of a tomb guard. This was his duty, to honor the fallen at the tomb of the unknown soldier, a monument to sacrifice that demanded nothing less than perfection. As he paced his 21 steps, Ethan's mind drifted to his son, Noah, 14, and struggling to find his place in a world that often mocked what Ethan stood for. Noah had been distant lately, embarrassed by his dad's job, swayed by voices that called the tomb guard a relic of a bygone era. Ethan exhaled softly, his breath visible in the chilly air. He'd faced insurgents in Afghanistan, but nothing felt harder than watching his son pull away. Back home, the clitching clock read 5:30 a.m. Ethan, now in civilian clothes, called upstairs. "Noah, time to get up. We've got that history program today." A groan drifted down, followed by sluggish footsteps. Noah appeared, hair tousled, wearing a hoodie and jeans, his backpack slung over one shoulder. "Dad, do I have to go? Professor Thornton's just going to rant about how the military is a waste of time again." Ethan sat down his coffee mug, his hazel eyes meeting Noah's. "He's your teacher, Noah. You don't have to agree with him, but you've got to show up and think for yourself." Noah shrugged, picking at his cereal. "He says stuff like the tomb guard's just a bunch of guys marching for tourists. It's embarrassing, Dad." The words stung, but Ethan kept his voice steady. "My job's about honoring the people who gave everything for this country. That's not embarrassing, it's a privilege." Noah looked away, unconvinced. Ethan checked his watch. "Come on, I'll drive you. And yeah, I'm wearing my uniform. Got duty right after." Noah's eyes widened. "You're not coming inside, are you?" Ethan raised an eyebrow, his silence answering the question. The drive to the Washington, D.C. Community Center was quiet, the city waking up around them. Ethan navigated the streets with the precision he brought to everything, his tomb guard uniform drawing glances from passersby. Noah slouched in the passenger seat, staring out the window. "So, this Professor Thornton," Ethan said, breaking the silence, "he's got a thing against the military, huh?" Noah nodded. "He says traditions like yours are outdated, that they glorify war. He told the class last week that tomb guards are just puppets in fancy costumes." Ethan's grip tightened on the steering wheel, but his voice stayed calm. "And what do you think, Noah?" "I don't know," Noah mumbled. "I mean, he's a professor, he's got a PhD, everyone listens to him." Ethan glanced at his son. "A degree doesn't mean someone's got all the answers. You've got to weigh both sides." Noah didn't respond, and Ethan let it go as they pulled into the community center's parking lot. The center was a modern building with glass windows and a sign advertising the Youth History Enrichment Program. Inside, the classroom buzzed with 30 middle schoolers, their voices echoing off the walls. Professor Daniel Thornton stood at the front, a tall man of 45 with salt and pepper hair and a tweed blazer that screamed academia. His wire-rimmed glasses glinted as he wrote on the whiteboard, "The cost of tradition." Ethan and Noah slipped in just as Thornton began. "Good morning, everyone," Thornton said, his voice carrying a practiced authority. Today, we're discussing how outdated traditions like